is assaulting Echo 1.
Bravo sector is under American control.
Alright, let's get back to it. Yeesh. Alright, my bad.
Need a transport, deliver to the marker.
Acknowledged vehicle drop incoming.
Grapples out! Took one
Yeah,
out!
got his jewelry.
Hostile spotted! South!
Ah,
Second.
Charlie sector is now controlled by the enemy.
Hostile located. 90 meters from my position.
Pushed out of an objective.
damn! He was right there. As soon as I dropped down.
They control all of Delta sector.
Ah well. Get back to the video. It's a crazy video, but let's show it. She says she's honoring her grandfather by doing OnlyFans.
And how long have you been doing adult content?
Like on or like mainstream.
Both.
6 months and then corn for 3 months.
Okay, and then you do it too, correct?
Yes, I just kind of started just to figure out
You're
what I'd like to
wait,
do.
Eric. We need to get her another booster. I think.
I think I'm fine.
He's
Okay,
shy.
you're gonna have to do a posture check whenever you're
Okay,
speaking.
okay.
How long you been doing that?
Just about like 2 months. I just started.
You just started.
Yeah.
Okay. What got you into it?
If I'm gonna be honest, I lost my grandpa. He was very close to me, so I kind of want to go with his legacy, and I kind of want to do it for him. So, but that's a really bad idea because I think that's not a good way to come up with money.
He
and
said,
share that
"What?"
with my family, but I haven't.
Wait, you're saying
wait.
you want to do OnlyFans to honor your grandfather's legacy?
Not in that way.
Was he
it's more
like a corn
live-
star or something?
No, it's kind of like I've been wanting to kind of like keep his legacy going, but in that sense,
Hold on just a sec. We'll get back to that. What is it? Not going to trigger? Hello? Okay, I'll just read it. Martin, what do you get when you mix a comedian and a blank star? A blank star. Everyone knows that women aren't fun. Wait, did someone say this? Did you say this?
Damn,
Wait,
I
what?
got 3 of
But I
them real
do stand-up
quick.
comedy and corn. Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
yeah.
corn.
Do you want to respond to him really quick?
I mean, you should come see one of my shows. They do pretty well, babe. I've got one on Monday.
Okay.
yeah.
Martin, is
Tanner would call her on that right now. My buddy Tanner, his opinion is that women aren't funny.
That's fair. A lot aren't, but I'm pretty good.
I have that opinion too.
By the way, do you guys like the new TTS sound? I changed it away from the chatterbait fucking trigger. Okay. So I don't know if I just misheard you. You said that you are
Honoring your
Yeah,
grandfather.
Can you say it again?
Can you explain how you're honoring your grandfather's
honoring.
legacy?
so
by doing pornography.
I haven't done much actually. I'm just trying to like trial and
Get your
error
feet wet.
basically.
Yeah.
It's more like he was a minister, so he didn't make much money, and I kind of want to help him out, and that's like a way that I thought would help out in the long run, if that makes sense.
Wait, but isn't he? You said he passed away.
Yeah, he passed away, but
So help
it
him
was just
out
an idea.
beyond the grave. I'm just confused.
Yeah, it's just an idea that I thought would be
Like help your
Help him
family.
out.
yeah, help my family in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, help your family.
Financially.
Financially.
Okay, I thought
Financially
you were
help
like-
your family. That's
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Because
Yeah.
You said
Okay.
you said he was a minister.
Yeah. So he did like weddings, funerals, etc., etc.
Was he like a Christian minister? Or-
It's kind of like a different religion. We don't really call it a religion. We call it a way of life. So instead of calling religion, it's more like more
The hell is she
connection
talking
with,
about? It's a
like,
cult.
our God, I guess you could say. It's more like, how do I say this? Like you can manage your faith instead of like having Catholic people believe in like marriages, lesbian, gay marriages. It's basically like we accept those people.
Does this faith go by a name?
Yeah, Konkokyo. It's like a Japanese.
Say it again?
Konkokyo. It's like a Japanese
Konkokyo?
religion. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
That's
Can we
cool.
get
Never heard of
someone in
that.
the chat? How do you spell it?
Konky.
Wait, K-O-N?
Yeah. Konko and then Kyo.
K-Y. Konkokyo?
Yeah.
Independent faith with origins in Shinbutsu Shugo beliefs.
If you put my grandpa's name,
Oh, that's a good logo. The religion, this religion, good logo.
Yeah, thank you.
Eric, can you pull it up? Can you pull it up? Eric, Google this. Konkokyo.
Konkokyo.
Konkokyo? Or
Konkokyo.
Konkokyo. Solid. The Japanese are great with logo design, I think. Look at that. That is a fantastic. Whoever their graphic designer were. How long has this religion been around?
Quite a long time. It originated in Japan.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go there this year. It's kind of like grounding me a lot to be able to visit my other side of my family and to actually see what my culture's about since I've never been to Japan.
Okay, so you're Japanese.
Yes.
Okay.
Half Japanese.
Half Japanese. Half.
Half Japanese.
Laos.
Okay.
It's like a little small place.
Sure. So just explain. You started an OnlyFans to pay homage to your now deceased
He said homage.
grandfather, who was a religious man and minister.
Yeah. I also thought about being in the military because I think that's another way to save
It'll
money.
probably be better
You
than,
can also pay for houses,
OnlyFans.
your car. I'm very disciplined in certain areas when it comes to the military, and I thought it was a good chance for me to help my grandpa out in that type of way. I like to work out too. It might not seem like it, but I do, and I want to help out my grandpa.
What ultimately made you decide on OnlyFans rather than the military?
I knew it. They were gonna get me up there.
So for Christmas, my auntie's husband, he came back from the military. He's like a reserve. He kind of showed me a glimpse of it because they yell at you in your face, kind of break you down mentally, physically,
Yeah, soldier.
etc. And I'm a very emotional person,
die
so I feel
slow,
like it's hard
boy.
for me to even stay straight face without having to break down. I don't want to embarrass my fellow soldiers.
So you're not in the military, or
I'm
you?
not, but I
okay.
thought about
You thought about joining.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think your grandfather? Do you think he would approve of the OnlyFans? Do you think he would disapprove?
I think he would support me, but I don't want to shame my family also because I'm very cultural and spiritual in all that sense. But I did tell him that I was going to join the military before he passed away.
But you changed your
I never
mind.
got a chance to tell him about the OF situation.
What kind of content do you make on OF? Is it boy, girl, solo?
Just me.
Just you?
Just me.
Okay.
so-
Full nudity?
No. I
Okay.
want to do like workout videos and stuff
Oh.
like that. Like I like abs. Actually, it's a really cool thing. So like maybe
ABS, auto braking system.
Yeah, just workout abs. But
Okay.
yeah.
Hold on.
That was terrible, dude.
They say women are funny.
All right.
Terrible.
Okay, so but you do have an intention to down the road
Possibly, yes.
do nude,
Maybe in the future.
because when I think I
Wait,
don't
so you're
think
not
workout
doing
videos.
nude stuff right now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You mentioned that you don't want to bring shame
So
on
when
your
I
family.
think
Do you
of
think it might
OnlyFans, I
possibly
don't
bring
think
shame
of
on them to do nude
workout
stuff?
video.
I don't think so. If I go deep down into my mom's opinion about it, she might be open to it. She's a really cool mom, so
Would you consult with her beforehand?
possibly, yeah. I mean, I'm an adult technically, so
Is your dad still in the picture?
I've never met my dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's out of the picture.
Sorry to hear that.
That's okay. I don't really need a dad.
You
I
don't
got
need a
myself.
dad?
Sorry?
You don't need a dad?
I don't. I mean, I think I could handle myself.
Sure.
He said, sure. The way he be coming back, and some of the shit they be saying be funny. Yeah, sure. You don't need a dad? Okay, sure.
We are holding Alpha Sector.
Get hiking, go!
Ready to make a support drop at your request.
Hostile located. 250 meters.
They've captured all of Charlie Sector.
Our enemy controls the battle.
I need an armored
They have
vehicle
conquered
with that
more
position.
sectors. Acknowledged. Vehicle is inbound. Bravo 1 assault initiated by our troops. We have captured an objective.
Our soldiers have secured Bravo Sector.
Found a vehicle we can use.
One of our objectives has been lost. Let's change tactics, quickly! Bravo Sector is held by our...
Support drop ready.
Grenade out!
Hold more sectors at the enemy.
God, almost. Fucking jihadist. I ain't seen OG Percy in a while. Let's see what
Man,
OG
we had a
Percy
real
going.
upcoming talented artist, man, who took the game by storm and developed a real solid core fan base, like really going up. He was shot and killed in 2018. Rest in peace to Triple X Tentacion, and also condolences to his family. Actually, had a newborn born right after he passed away, man. Had a newborn already on.
My bad. I ain't tripping on that conversation right now, though.
And interest. $100.31. Ladies, how do you describe your relationship with God? If none, have you ever tried to open your heart to Him? Hashtag Christ is Lord.
Amen.
Amen, bro. Amen. Yeah, we should. I'm
Really
curious.
quick.
We should go around the table. Do you have a relationship with God?
I'm not religious, no.
Okay.
I do, yes.
Yes, you mentioned yours.
Not currently, but I've actually been really interested in it lately. So I've
Right.
been like kind of weighing my options of how I can learn more.
We should talk more about that after the show.
I had a
would
feeling
love
you would
to.
say that.
Yeah, I would love to. What about you?
Things I had a feeling
No.
you would say that.
Yes.
Yes. What religion?
Christian.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Pentecostal.
You believe Jesus rose from the dead?
Yes.
Paid the price for your sins?
Yes.
Let's go. we are back. What about you?
Absolutely, yes. So I was raised Catholic, and now it's just Christian. So
Okay.
I don't go to Catholic church. I mean, but.
But you're Christian.
Yes.
But so,
But
how do you? So, but you make like adult content. How do you reconcile being a Christian, yet making?
Well, you know, it's a
that kind of
relationship
content?
that I have with him, right? And so he's working on me, and it's just not something that I. If you're talking about from a religious perspective or faith,
No, what he's
so
trying to
it's
say
just-
and what
it's a
she's trying to
constant
say, but it's
conversation
both.
I have
It's
with
funny.
him. And so whether it's for him to bring me clarity or just give me, an avenue or just show me, but it doesn't mean that I'm less Christian or believe less in him just because I do that. It's
It
just-
kind of does, though, doesn't
No.
it?
Let me take this.
No, because it's an individual relationship with him.
Would you say that you love Jesus?
Absolutely.
What did Jesus tell us we would do if we love him?
What did he tell us then?
He told us that we would keep his commands.
Right.
Right. That's the mark of if someone truly loves Jesus.
So, but I also feel like he has his own, you know what, he has this relationship with you and you have a relationship with him, and your growth is going to be different than anybody else's, right? So I may have to go through something, and I may actually delay something, a blessing, because I'm not listening to him. So I'm willing to be more open, right? And I am opening up more, just because it's just something that I'm looking for, whether I may feel lost or something, but it's just something within that I know that he's just trying to lead me the right way. Not into OnlyFans. Maybe this is just an avenue that I took
God led you to
for me to
OnlyFans.
realize.
That sounds like some
right?
pimp
Just like
shit.
being on this podcast. Like I definitely will be reflecting.
It had not
after,
been for the
just
Lord.
because it's part of growth, like I had said. And that's one of the key reasons why. So.
Wait, do you
And
do
may
BG?
actually-
Do you do BG content,
No,
or it's
I
just
don't.
solo?
No,
Correct.
solo,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Give me a lot to chew on there.
I know. I can't wait to hear more. Ready.
But okay, let me say one
Yeah,
thing really
yeah,
quick.
yeah.
I mean, so, and look, I guess people can identify however they want, but I don't know if the book says X, and the core tenets of the religion say do this, and you don't do them, can you really identify with the religion? Like,
Well, I don't.
because then you don't really
I'm
have.
not identifying with a religion. I'm identifying with the
You're not
relationship
breaking-
that
you-
I've
if you're
had with
breaking the
God and how
rules.
I've grown and what I've gone through. Right. So, to me, religion for me is more. It has a lot more opinion and judgment. Right. And you have a lot of people telling us how they perceive the religion to be. Right. That's not what I believe in God and the relationship and how He speaks to me on a daily basis. Right. And so in the effort that I make to reach out, or how he does it to me, right? So it could be signs, or it could be just me thinking about him, or, praise and worship, whatever.
Do you read the Bible?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I was just.
Was that it? Was
No,
that it, Gabby?
I just wanted to know.
So one of the things that I do is, like, if I'm looking for an answer, I just open up the Bible to whatever page it lands, and I just
Okay.
kind of like educate myself, because there's so much, and every time I go back to that page, it's something different. The message is completely different. So, oh, here we go. I see you.
No. It was more just the super chat. Shania's dad is Robin Crosby. I wasn't.
No, that's fine.
I mean, everybody sins, so I understand what you're saying, but there are things that, but I feel like, I don't know, like you said, it's learning.
You're right, it's your process.
If you acknowledge, if you do believe in what the Bible says, you don't have to believe in it, but if you believe in what it says, then, some of the things that you would be doing would go against the word of God,
Right.
If you had a better opportunity in your life, would you stop doing OnlyFans?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But hold on, you said you're a nurse. Nurses are well compensated.
So, but you don't.
Right.
No, it's not even about. I'm still a nurse, and I still practice nursing, and I do that because I enjoy taking care of people. Like that's what I do. It's not about paying me, But,
Wait.
you know, I went into a corporate environment, especially after COVID. It was highly stressful.
You was about to say, wait, it's
and
not about
they wanted
pain.
you to be a yes person, and I wasn't going to be that because it wouldn't be fair to my team or the patients. And
Are you talking about the jab?
I'm talking about like why I left, you know, corporate medicine, and then why
Talking
my
about
whole
is that-
career had.
Okay.
So.
Kinks.
She didn't want to take the jab. Well, that's cool though. I respect her for that. And OnlyFans too. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Do OnlyFans if you want.
May I ask you guys
I know.
a couple questions about the whole OF thing and its implications? Yeah. Are you two, you're already married, you three actually, are you three concerned at all about like future partner knowing about the OF stuff and stuff like that in the past and being like turned off? Like, do you guys, is that a concern for you guys at all?
I think it's always a concern. You know, it's definitely a thought that I had prior to actually doing OnlyFans. There's
It's
a
a
lot of things
concern,
that
now
we
it's a
have
thought.
to consider, or I considered prior to doing it. But yeah, it's always a concern, like meeting somebody new and having
Back
to
to
say just
concern,
because there's
okay.
always going to be either some judgment or not. But at the end of the day, like it's my job also that if I do decide to be with somebody, to make them comfortable enough, I definitely would leave OnlyFans, you know, because you got to compromise, and I would make them a priority and truly like what I want as a partnership. And so, but you know, am I going to be with somebody that's going to judge me? Absolutely not. But I am going to be transparent
Picture
and
broke
authentic because
jumper.
that's the only way to be. You know, we're not going to be playing games.
Yeah.
So.
What about you two?
I think I kind of agree with you actually a little bit. Compromising communication is key. If they're okay with it, I'm pretty sure people who have thought about doing it might
I shouldn't say that.
Six figures on.
chance to do it, so I think I would definitely.
What about you?
Would I be concerned that they
Yeah.
would be upset about it? Honestly, just from like my personal experience, I haven't had anyone in my real life have a problem with it. Mostly because the content that I do, like even if it's mainstream, I'm doing one scene a month. So it's not like, you know, people make corn out to be dirty and dicks every day and like that sort of shit. But no, it's occasional. It's like a business. And like I said, I'm not ready to settle down until
It's
I'm
like
already
a
out of the
business.
industry. So, you know, I don't think I would waste time on somebody that would have a problem with it anyway.
Yeah. And you three said that you guys want to have kids beyond where you're currently. Are you guys ever concerned that like your kids will like get bullied in school if their friends find your stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a concern. But like I said, I'm setting myself up for
Kid's gonna
a
get bullied
future.
anyway.
I don't know. I think at the point when I would have to have that conversation with kids, it would obviously be an uncomfortable conversation, but you know, everybody has things in their past that they have to
And we
address.
do have
It's not
this-
my favorite thing in the world, but I would rather have a child than not.
Stokey_exist donated $100. Stoked you guys are back. Hope your neck is feeling better, Brian. And really happy to see Shania back. She's the absolute goat.
Yo,
video-
Stoically exists. Thanks for that $100, bro. To continue with what we were saying, yeah, the reason why I ask is because like when I look at the whole thing, like I've heard stories of like kids who like themselves because they got bullied so bad in school and stuff, and like.
So I think that's where
He said delete.
it's super important to have a good relationship with your child where you're always communicating with them, you're always talking to them, you're asking them how school's going, you're understanding or noticing changes in their behavior patterns. If your kid's getting bullied, you're gonna notice a
Nah, you're
behavioral
not. People
change
think
in
they
them.
gonna know.
I have an 11-year-old stepson,
That's
so if he had a bad day
Naive
at
to
school,
think
I
that.
can tell when he walks in that door if something was
Not
off
every
in his
time.
day. If he's lying to me, I can tell by the way he's looking at me, the way he's talking. So when you have that communication with your child and you have that strong bond,
No,
can I prevent the bullying from happening? Absolutely not. Can I prevent something happening further by having that level of communication with them and knowing that something's happening
Sounds
and
good.
preventing anything further from happening? Absolutely. Because at that point then the school can get involved and stopping the bully from bullying them, right? The parents of the bully are now involved and now they're parenting their child to ensure that their child's not bullying my child anymore. So there's I feel like if you have those levels of communication and understanding in that relationship with your child,
Well, there you
there's
go.
ways to prevent those severe things from happening.
All
I
right.
can't prevent the bullying, but I can prevent it from getting any further than that.
What do you guys think?
I just feel like it's not that serious. I don't know. People get bullied for all sorts of things. So I think I would set my kid up with a life where they would be 1, safe, 2, financially stable, and 3, have a good relationship with me. So if anything were to take place, I would be able to take care of it.
I don't know. All I know is I would not want my mom to have pornography all over the internet.
That's fair.
You have to
I
think
wouldn't
too,
either.
like, what are the chances of, like, as a child, for me at least, because I do it with my husband,
Right.
what are the chances of my child walking into my bedroom and seeing me do it?
But that's so different. That's so
They can
different.
look it up on
On
the
the
internet.
internet.
though.
It's a totally different
They
thing.
can look it up on the internet, but it's
Getting
to see-
made
What is
fun
your
of by all
argument?
of your peers for months on end is totally different than like accidentally walking in on your parents having sex.
But also, it's exclusive content that's behind a paywall. So unless a child has access to a credit card and can spend money on a
I'm gonna show you
paywall,
pictures.
then
But also,
most of the content is
people
behind a
do.
paywall.
to counter that, people will go and they'll subscribe and then they'll download it off of people's profiles and
Right, no, I understand. Leaking
Leaking
is a thing. I understand that content gets leaked, but
Yeah.
there's ways to prevent content from getting leaked. Like there's DCMA
No, there
takedowns. So
aren't.
I actually, a
That
couple
don't
times
matter.
a week, will go out on the internet to search my name and see if there's any of my content out there. And I use legal action and DCMA takedown to take that content down. So some of it doesn't always get taken down based on the
EMCA.
country that it's in, because they don't obviously fall under those legal actions. But
Right.
if you're maintaining and managing as much as you can try to prevent it. as
Well,
much as
Yeah.
you can.
even if the children that are potentially bullying your child, they don't even have access to the actual material. I mean, you guys promote your material on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
So even just by them knowing that you have an OnlyFans, I mean, even some of the stuff that gets posted on Instagram and Twitter, et cetera, Reddit, a lot of girls will post some of the content on Reddit for free and then have more of their premium stuff paywalled. They still have access to those things, and then they will eventually know that that his mom has or her mom has OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's out there. And that's a choice that I made, right? Going into this, I knew
Yeah, also had a
being
choice to make
stepmother
the
currently
kid,
and
too.
wanting to have more children in the future. I knew this was a decision that I was making. And when you're making a decision like that and there's other people relying on you, you have to understand the repercussions that can come out of it. So, you know, you have a plan, right? A plan of action, or you understand that these can come up, and when it comes up, you're not blindsided by it. I can't prevent it from happening. Obviously, there's promotions and, you know, other websites and stuff like that, but you just deal with
Once
it
you
as it
post
comes.
something on the internet, it's on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mine's out there.
No,
if
and
it
I
happens, it
understand that,
happens,
and
I
I'm
guess.
not-
But
Well,
You
once
can't
it's on
prevent
the
it from
internet,
happening,
it's on
but
the
you can
internet.
handle it accordingly to hope it doesn't go any further.
Mitigate.
Okay.
Can I actually say something?
Yeah. No, you're not allowed to say anything. on this podcast. Go ahead.
Putting into your perspective, I actually had a conversation related to yours. My auntie has a little one. She's 4 years old. I actually did tell my auntie about my OF.
My auntie?
and
Who's
she
talking like
didn't
that?
feel
Oh,
good
her.
about it. She told me to put myself in perspective in her little
Sorry,
one.
hold on.
Rippy donated $100.68.
Damn.
Ladies, you are missing the point. One of the worst things for a young man to hear is about how his mom
Hey,
gets
what's up,
blamed
y'all?
for money. Prevention or not, a son will be bullied for that fact. Guys agree?
100%.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
Whoa.
disagree with that. I understand the point that's being made. It's a choice that I'm deciding to make, right? And that's my choice for my family. Your mother might make a different choice for you, or someone else's mother might make a different choice for them, but I made the decision that I'm making. And as long as I'm confident in my decision and I can back myself up and my husband can back me up, then we just handle it as a family how we see fit.
That all sounds good. Here's the thing.
What's
though.
up? I know, that's what I was saying. It
I remember
sounds
like
good.
when I was in middle school and high school and stuff, I had a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, in my personal life at home. My parents were going through a divorce. My mom was ill. And, you know, those are like these really important formative years of your life. And what you're saying about being a responsible mother with like a tight connection to her kids and like closely watching
good stuff,
how they
right?
feel on a daily basis totally makes sense. That's good parenting to do that. But also at the same time, like I look at something like that and I'm like, man, like if I was a kid and my mom, you know, had pornography on the internet and all these kids were teasing me about it, it's like you could be in one of two situations as a kid when you're that age. You could be in a situation where you don't have to worry about stuff like that and you're allowed to flourish and like, you know, embrace life and grow as a person. Or you could be in a situation where you have this like constant mental stress that's wearing on you. And it's taking down your social status at your school. You're the kid that kids make fun of. You know, like you don't show up to school and you're like, oh man, I'm like pumped to meet my friends, like, and hang out today. It's like, fuck, I have to go to school today. Like, and I, you know, this kid might bully me and that kid might bully me. And this is why kids kill themselves when their parents have pornography online, you know? And like, I don't know, it just, I don't know.
That
Like
is
I know, you know, you're a responsible adult. You're making your decisions for yourself. And
Delete
your family and stuff,
themselves,
but
he said.
I feel like it comes at the expense of children, which is not something that they're given the option. They wouldn't want to sign up for that.
Absolutely.
You know, like I wouldn't want my parents to make decisions that come at the expense of
Does
my
anybody
mental
know what
health
a
during the most
seesaw
important
is?
formative years of my life. You know.
That's like
you're a kid, you
I
get to play on the
100%
seesaw?
agree, and I
Or did,
not necessarily.
do I?
agree.
Am I the only
I
one that
understand
remembers?
where you're coming from. I think too, you have to think, I don't plan on doing this long term. Like this isn't something I want to do for the rest of my life until the day that I die. I have bigger plans and bigger goals that are more long term and sustainable. So I feel like too, you know how many people, like there's so many people in this industry. So my content isn't in the forefront of everything. It's not, there's going to be so many more content creators that come about in the industry, and there's so much more mainstream content also in this industry that if someone's going on a website, for example, and they're searching something specific, only if I'd done that specific content or have it out on a mainstream site for someone to search are they going to find it. How many more content creators are going to come after me that are going to be in the forefront of these search engines until mine comes up, right? It's always an option. It's always a what if, right? And I completely understand where you're coming from, but I feel like there's a lot of different factors that come into it that it could happen or it couldn't happen or...
Okay.
Wow. It seems like most of those girls are brain dead or something. But, you know, I guess they just aren't in touch with reality because guys are simps and, you know, they get whatever they want. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's crazy to me though. But yeah, Battlefield, we about to play some more of that too, but I'm taking a little break right now. Was that double XP and shit on this one too? Or this one too? Okay. There's a bunch of new stuff in the store. Let's peruse the store a little bit. These are just masks or what? Oh, skins and shit. Ain't buying none of this shit. What up, though? What's good? Alright, let me go back. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Let's get this video on. Charleston White? No, that's not it. Hold on. Let me move it over here. There we go.
Fro with his head cocked. Think he cool. So me and my out. Me and my
Shout out Charleston White and Anton Daniels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we were finna start with him. And then
you was hating on dude?
Yeah. Then my partner Sky Blue. So same with Joe Blow. Oh, when I first started Joe Blow, I ain't really like Blow. So I knew one of my tactics is I know my people.
Yeah.
I know if black people start out loving you, eventually they go turn on you.
Really?
I watched them do it to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
Whitney Houston, Bobby Brown, DMX.
That's great.
Lil Bow Wow.
Even Lil Bow Wow.
Man, you can go on and on.
Do you think that the
R.
black
Kelly.
people started off liking you or hating
Nah,
you?
because my tactic was to come to the internet and not to be like, play the villain.
Yeah.
That's why I come with the I tell on you, you snitch. Nah, that's why I came with that tactic. If you came and said I like you, I'll you. What you liking me for? Yeah, you want to lay with him. So I did not want to be liked because that was a defense mechanism as well. It keep people from approaching you. So what I realized after using this tactic, that it was effective for the most part, because if you got past this little character wall that I put up,
right,
then you really here for a reason.
Yeah.
Because most people are turned off by the character. Most people can't see past the character. So if you still me after all you see on the internet, then obviously you see the real past the character. Because most people shy away or turned off by the character. So that keep a lot of people away.
Well, a lot of people are hypocrites, though.
Yeah,
so it don't even
keep,
matter.
It keep me from dealing with a lot of bull. Because most people think I'm the character.
What's good?
On the flip side, I probably done lost a lot.
What do you mean?
I probably lost a lot of opportunity because of the character.
But you don't care.
I don't, because what I don't know don't hurt me. Yeah, I don't know if I lost them or not. I don't know. So
but you don't talk about the love that you get, because you everywhere.
I get a lot of love.
One of the things that I asked you
it.
the last time that you was in Detroit 2 weeks ago, one of the things I asked you, I said, yo, C, and I actually talked about this online the other day, and I said, yo, C, you don't get tired or you don't get tired of this, or whatever somebody else say or whatever, so on and so forth. And you was like, nope. Like you literally said no. And then what you said after that.
All that shit.
Well,
Appreciate
not even what you said after that. When we go around, whether it be at the game, whether it be at the hotel, whether it just be in the streets or whatever like that, ain't no smoke. It's all love. And maybe it's just Detroit, maybe it's just Dallas or whatever like that. Ain't no smoke.
Man, I've been all over the country. No smoke.
Oh, yeah,
except when we went to VA in the Black Lives Matter punk run up on it. But
that wasn't no smoke.
Well, I'm about to say, no, it wasn't none at all. But
that was clout chasing.
That
was all clout chasing. That wasn't no smoke. He came in with his camera. Come on. If somebody come in with the camera and that's all they got is their camera phone.
Well, the actually had permission. He actually at first did what he did, right? He sent my guy Lee over and said, he said, hey man, I got a black guy from Black Lives Matter, man, want to talk to you, interview you, ask you some questions. I'm like, what? No, we eating breakfast. I don't talk to him for man. We eating breakfast. No, I don't give a about Black Lives Matter was my exact words as he walked off. Yeah, man, I don't give a about Black Lives Matter, man. Them people. Yeah. So 10 minutes later, here he come with that camera, and he was shaking, like he was kind of nervous or scared.
He was shaking?
Yeah. I was on the phone with Miss Pap, asking about her event, trying to ignore him.
Shaking in his boots.
But he just kept on. Yeah. And man, I don't care nothing about Black Lives Matter or anything that's led by three legs. Three is what I said. He said, I ain't. You look like it. Yeah, I was sitting there looking at it. Yeah, you look like it. Yeah.
That wasn't no smoke,
That
man.
shit
Yeah,
was
no,
funny.
man, but man, no, my
He was trying to. When I seen it, I went and looked at the beginning of his video. He
Ain't
was
even
trying to get
post
up the
the video.
nerve to even come and say something in the first place.
yeah,
He was working on himself.
Yeah, he was. Man, I walked through the malls all over the city, all over the country. You know, I get a lot of guys saying, "Man, but why
yo?
you say this, man? But can you just tell me, man? I can't." So I get a lot of guys wanting to try to understand.
Yeah.
And I have to whisper in their ear and say, "Man, I'm just playing a character, homie. Come on, my. We call it yakking. Yakking for the internet to get a check. I have to, you heard me saying, I don't mean.
Mm-hmm.
When you see me sit down on Antoine Daniels' channel, that's the real me talking. Man, the rest of that, that's to sell a character, brand, content. You ought to try it. It pay good in the mother.
But okay, so
Talking
let me ask you
crazy.
another question. Let me flip it for a second. Because you said that 5 years ago, whatever, you was sensitive about certain things.
I
about what
was.
was said, right?
Yeah, I was.
Why do you think that? Because
Hey,
people get
what's going
sensitive
on?
towards me,
How you
even when
doing?
I show the money, or they don't really know like what's really happening behind the scenes as far as like how much money we really
going
working
on?
with and
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
They just see the cars or the watches or whatever like that, right? Why do you think that black people specifically are overly sensitive about stuff that ain't even got nothing to do with them?
Because they think feelings
The
matter.
Druids.
Black people think feelings really matter. They think God care about your feelings. They think feelings are important to other people. I told my son one time, I care way more about your well-being and your best interest than I do your feelings.
You gotta break that down for the people, see? Because I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I care way more about, because your feelings are gonna change.
Yeah.
I can be right, and you can feel like I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But and you're right to feel like whatever you feel, but just because you feel it don't mean you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So black people think because I feel this way, I'm right. It don't matter what the fact says. It don't matter what the truth is.
Yeah.
If they feel it, then their feelings supersede facts and truth.
It's a cool picture. Check this shit out.
What do you rate your looks on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm gonna ask everybody.
I don't know, like a 7.
Oh, okay.
Ant-Man, what's
Like,
up?
6.3.
Ant-Man.
Why would you
I
not
need to
rate you
rewatch that
guys
movie.
a
What the fuck is
10?
Drewski
Like,
doing?
We should be rating ourselves
What
a
is
10.
that?
I'm a 10.
Shania Twain.
There's a midget lady. He was humping a midget.
I have like my days where I'm like an 8, and then my days where I'm like a 6.
I love myself like at 15, but I know that every now and then I'm like, okay, I got a little puff because I had caffeine or something. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
6.
you're allowed to look rough every now
Fair
and then.
enough,
Fair enough, yeah.
So when you say, so you're a
Steve
10.
Keef was
I rate
fucking
myself a
bad,
10,
baby.
yeah.
Looks? Not
They all gonna
confidence,
set
like just
18s.
looks.
For my
Oh
taste,
yeah, we lost super chatted $49.99. A same-day flake is a clear indication of lack of genuine burning desire, let alone a blatant indication of disrespect. Women break rules for alphas, make excuses for betas. No second chances.
Facts, dude. Facts.
He bought a billboard.
I mean, look, occasionally a flake is legitimate. Like 1 out of 1,000 times, I would say. But, I mean, yeah, you can keep starring those, Carson. Go ahead. But,
I admire you and your answer.
Oh.
I think it's really nice.
yeah, so, okay, the 10 thing. The 10.
fire away.
Huh?
10 thing.
Fire away.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to rate you? Is that what you're asking?
No,
because I wouldn't
no.
do that.
No,
I wouldn't
Yes,
do
you
that.
would.
I feel
You can if you want to.
With permission, I would do it.
No, you
No.
With permission, I would
You
do
can,
it.
yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I don't mind.
Well, first, before I rate anyone, I consider myself like 6 on a good day. I say 6.9 on a good day.
Can I just say something before you go ahead?
Yeah.
You know why you do that?
Why
Everybody rates themselves as 6 or 8 or whatever? Because they are afraid of being arrogant. And it's not arrogant to be confident, to like yourself and to like your appearance.
But okay, there's a difference between confidence and thinking that you're on par with the most beautiful women in the world.
True. But beauty is while it's beautiful for you, it can be not beautiful for me. So it depends on the person.
What's going on here? You
get-
kind of had like a moment.
Oh no, it's
like,
just because to me, like when someone is very pretty, but when you're talking about beautiful, like, and this is also just my opinion, someone who's beautiful has like an amazing inside as well as the outside. Someone who is truly lovely on the inside just glows, and that to me is beautiful. And that's very
fine, but
objective,
that's
because maybe
not
someone
it.
that I think is just amazing and a great person is beautiful. Someone else will be like, oh no, they're not my taste. Like it is really, you're right. It's all opinions.
Yeah.
It's all
but
personal.
you're saying someone who's beautiful on the inside, it would manifest on the outside?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No. Come on.
No,
Come
I
on.
truly, I will stand by
Stop
that.
the cap.
Come on.
No,
Stop
I will.
the
I will
cap.
stand by that. I will. You can roast me. You can do whatever you want.
Who's the woman who just got appointed to the Supreme Court? What's her name? Do you guys know what her name is? What's her name?
America? No.
The lady. Can anyone in the chat? Who's the lady who got appointed? I don't know. I'm trying to use this as a trap. Okay, so so an obese woman, even if she feels beautiful on the inside, do you think people on the outside will agree with your assessment that she's physically beautiful?
I don't speak for anyone but myself, and a few of my friends I know think the same way. But it doesn't matter, even if you're obese, whatever. But I think beautiful has everything to do with your heart and your inside. So whether you're overweight or very skinny, whatever, that doesn't matter.
Well, you can still be a moral and a good person if you're overweight, but we're talking about something very specific here. We're talking about physical looks. We're talking about your looks, your appearance.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think having a positive disposition can make you, to some degree, more physically attractive. For example, if let's say there's a really good-looking man or even a really good-looking woman, but they're scowling all the time. They're like me. They're jaded and toxic.
Like
it's going
me.
to reduce their physical appeal to some degree. If someone's really nasty and it they kind of like always just, it will have a bit of an impact, but like at the end of the day, an obese woman is not, and I'm not saying you're obese, by the way, but I'm just using it as an example. Someone who's obese, very few people, generally speaking, would say that they are physically attractive.
I mean, that's everyone's opinion. Some people might.
It is
Some people.
It is everyone's opinion, or
like everyone has an opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Like everyone has going to have a different one. But what you said about how some people, like when they're beautiful, that's exactly why I started to get my perspective shift. Like someone who is like, oh wow, she's so beautiful, but she's just really not nice. It shows. Versus someone who, I don't know, has put in the work to develop and grow themselves. It shows as well.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like if you're outwardly, like for example, a woman who's just very joyful and kind of effervescent and has a positive disposition, it does add to some degree.
Where's that picture at?
Like, I'm not sure exactly how to articulate it, but it does, and maybe it has to do with if she smiles more. Because someone who smiles can just through the act of smiling, you
There's psychology
more physically attractive. Where if you just got a nasty face on you, it's just like, So I kind of get what you're getting at. But if you lined up, for example, and we're speaking in generalities here. For example, is it wrong to say that humans have 10 fingers?
No.
Are some humans born with 11 fingers?
Yes.
It's rare. But it's not wrong to say that humans have 10 fingers. So in the same way that you might say, well, generally speaking, X about something, are there exceptions? Sure. But you have to kind of go off of the general rule. So...
Right.
I hear what you're saying, and I respect your points.
She don't want to hear that shit.
I guess the reason I'm fighting against it is because I was raised in a career during like young childhood where it was nothing but comparison to other people and saying you're not as good as so and so, and I just thought it was so horrible to think that way. So I have done everything I can to see it in a different way.
All right, there you go. Seeing it in a different way. That definitely doesn't change the fact that it is the way it is, though. And why does TikTok keep trying to fucking ban me? I don't even think I said anything this time. Anyways, we're back banned on TikTok, if you didn't already know. Maybe my appeal has went through. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. Not too concerned. All things will, work itself out in due time. Time heals everything. All right, is this fucking shit gonna start?
Okay, so now I'd like to talk about two very important words and the definitions for those words. The first word is swarthy, and the definition of that word is of a dark color, complexion, or caste, and that's from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary 1828. Second definition is of a skin color, complexion, etc., dark, and that's from dictionary.com. And lastly, of a person or their skin, dark, a swarthy face / complexion, and that's from the cambridgedictionary.com. Okay, so the second word we have is complexion, and that definition is the hue or appearance of the skin and especially the face, a dark complexion. That's from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary 1828. Listen, folks, I don't care how far you go back in history, these two words, swarthy and complexion, have not changed their definitions. So people that try to tell you that they mean something else, this is not true, and you need to go research for yourself and find a very old dictionary or dictionaries and check out the definitions. You'll find that they are virtually the same. Okay, so let's get into this next section called Irish, Scottish, and English names. This is page 1. And these names all mean swarthy by being described as dark complexions, black complexions, and brown complexions. Okay, I have listed here the names, meanings, and origins. Some of these names are going to look familiar to you, and then some, of course, will not, if you're not from Ireland, Scotland, or England. Also, as I said in my first video, my pronunciation may be a little bit off, or a lot off, actually. So please don't hold it.
This part.
So as I read these names and I think about them, I have to ask myself, why would parents that were white with white children name their children names that mean the opposite of what their child actually looked like? Unless, of course, the parents were actually swarthy, which means their children would be swarthy and their children would be the same as them, with dark complexions, dark skin, brown skin, resembling a raven or a crow or anything similar to that. So looking at this section of the video in the middle there, it says 3 main theories. From what I've seen on the internet, in journals or websites, there are 3 main reasons that are given for reasons that Scottish, Irish, and English people have names that mean dark skin, dark complexion, brown, dark, raven, you name it. The reasons are that the person has dark hair, the person has dark hair and dark eye color, and the person has bad intentions or known for bad deeds. So let's look at the first one there. It says person has dark hair. Okay, why that doesn't make sense is that many of these names mean dark complexion, dark skin, dark limbed, black limbed, dark as a raven, dark as a crow. And complexion, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, means complexion, the skin color, especially of the face. Okay, so that definition is not going to change, and that's why
giving someone a name that means dark complexioned or dark limbed or raven or coal or black when they have a white or a pale complexion doesn't make any sense. Plus the fact that hair color has nothing to do with complexion. Okay? Two different words, two different things. So looking at that second theory there, person has dark hair, dark eye color. Again, it's the same thing. They're speaking about complexion, and many times the definition of the name means dark complexion or dark stranger or a similar type definition. So,
all right, I get it.
Let's move on to this new section called Swarthy Europeans. And as you can see there on the top, I have a chart there with a majority of the human skin tones. And as you can see, there are different labels there. They range from pale, fair, you'll hear the word fresh. I don't have it there, but you'll hear that fresh. Ruddy, which is like reddish. Then you'll have sandy. You'll have tawny, light brown, seguine. Seguine's like a reddish color, reddish brown. Then you'll have brown, and you have dark brown. And at the top, you'll see circled there, swarthy. And the two arrows indicating in between those two marks is kind of where I consider they're swarthy. Although sandy is also somewhat swarthy because I'll explain that later. Okay, so there is only one way to have a swarthy complexion, and that is by having one or two parents or one or two grandparents that are swarthy. So one of the points that I want to make is when the girl with the darkest complexion becomes an adult, she could possibly give birth to a child that could possess any of the skin tones you see there on the chart, even if the father was her same complexion. Okay, and then on the other hand, if the girl on the left with the pale skin tone becomes an adult and she procreates with a man of her skin tone, or even the skin tone of a fair or ruddy girl, she could give birth to a baby that had those three particular skin tones. The only real exception would be if the man was a light-complected person with some form of albinism, whose parents and or grandparents had a darker complexion. In that case, the baby could just be about any skin tone determined by the parents' combined DNA. And if you look over to the right there, you'll see a little green box around the young man that has albinism. And I'd just like to reiterate that that young man with albinism, both his parents could have dark complexions, versus the pale girl on the chart on the left-hand side. Her parents are both going to have very light complexions or pale complexions. So in wrapping things up, it's basically you can go from dark to light, but you can't go from light to dark unless you reintroduce a darker complexion. Okay, so let's move on to this next section, and we're still dealing with swarthy Europeans. And again, you'll see my skin complexion chart there, from pale to dark with swarthy indicated. And below there, I have just some of the descriptive names and adjectives of some notable swarthy Europeans. I'm sure if you're a history buff, you will recognize some of these names. The first one you'll see there, number 1, is Samuel Horsley, and he was born 1733 to 1806. He was a bishop, and his complexion was black as a raven. Just so you know where I got these descriptive names and adjectives for these historical people, it was from the actual books that were written about them. And if you saw my first video, or if you want to see my first video, I highly suggest that you do. These quotes and descriptions that I have here listed are taken directly from the books and pages that were written about these historical figures. Okay, so back to Samuel Horsley and his description, black as a raven. And you can see a raven there on the right-hand side, and you can see how dark it is and black it is, and that is the description for Samuel Horsley. Although when you look at Samuel Horsley's painting, he looks nothing like a black raven. And again, remember, in these books and passages, they use the word complexion, okay? And complexion means skin tone. It doesn't mean hair, it doesn't mean eyes, it just means skin tone. All right, so let's move on to number 2, William Douglas, born 1370 and died 1391. He was the Lord of Nithsdale, called the Black Douglas for his complexion. And note here, he's not called the Brown Douglas or the Tan Douglas, he's called the Black Douglas for his complexion. Okay, so on to number 3, Thomas Wentworth, 1593 to 1641. He was the Earl of Stratford, and he was called Black Tom due to his complexion. Let's move on to number 4, Hugh O'Neill, okay, 1642 to 1660, Major General, called the Black Hugh because of his complexion. Number 5, Thomas Fairfax, 1612 to 1671, Lord Fairfax, called Black Tom due to his dark complexion. Number 6, Sir William Douglas, 1286 to 1330, of Douglas, called the Black Douglas for his complexion. Number 7, James Methuen, 1650 to 1706, Lord Chancellor of Ireland, referred to as a tall black man. Okay, there's no ambiguity there, all right? Number 8, James Drummond, 1648 to 1716, 4th Earl of Perth, had a brown complexion, okay, not a black complexion, but a brown complexion. Number 9, Agnes Dunbar, 1312 to 1369, Countess, called Black Agnes for her complexion. Number 10, Anne of Bohemia, 1366 to 1394, Queen of Richard II, had a swarthy complexion. Number 11, Thomas Butler, 1532 to 1614, Earl of Ormond, called Black Earl for his complexion. And then last but not least, up there on the right-hand side, number 12, King Charles Stuart II, 1630 to 1685, called Black Boy by his mother for his complexion. Not brown boy, tan boy, but black boy. So I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say here is that they were swarthy Europeans, okay? There's no doubt about
Europeans.
it. Also remember that these are just notable figures that were written about, okay? They didn't write about the average Joe, okay? The average middle class or lower class persons. So just realize that there were thousands of swarthy people walking around, living their everyday lives. But, you know, generally books are written about important people, not just everyday regular people. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I just wanted to make this section of the video to reemphasize what complexion means. And I'll read again the definition from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, 1828. It is the hue or appearance of the skin, and especially the face. And the example they use in the dictionary there is a dark complexion. And as you look at the chart that I've assembled here, you have 8 individuals, 4 of which have a swarthy complexion and 4 that do not have a swarthy complexion. All these pictures I got from Google Images. The 4 individuals on the right-hand side that do not have swarthy complexions, they are listed in Google as being of Irish descent. Now, the 4 individuals on the left-hand side, Google considers them to be of African American descent. Although, based on my research, folks, we don't know if they are from Africa at all. They could be from a lot of different places. But the point here is that they are swarthy. Now you'll see this first blue box, and I put that around a woman that is swarthy, which is, you know, if you look at her, she has like a medium swarthy tone. And then the second blue box I put around the gentleman below her, and he has a somewhat swarthy tone, skin tone, complexion as well. Now I'll move on to the gentleman in the red box, and he is much more swarthy, darker complexion. And then last, I'll put the green box around the young woman who is very swarthy, very dark complected, and you could probably consider her dark as a raven, which is the complexion that they gave Samuel Horsley. Although when you look at his painting, of course, he is definitely not swarthy or dark as a raven. Now, when you look over at the non-swarthy individuals, you'll see that they do have dark hair, dark eyes, but they definitely don't have swarthy complexions. So when you read these historical books and journals and everything else, and they mention people with swarthy complexions, these folks don't have swarthy complexions. They have dark hair and dark eyes, but their complexions are definitely pale, fresh, fair, but definitely not swarthy. So there is definitely a contradiction in the explanation for why the Irish, Scottish, British, and even some of the other Europeans that are listed in books and novels and journals as being of a swarthy complexion. And it's not just myself and other people saying that these Europeans were swarthy. Benjamin Franklin actually listed a bunch of different swarthy nationalities from Europe. And back in the 1700s, when he spoke about these people, these nationalities as being swarthy, I believe they actually were swarthy. And in future videos, I'm going to get into what actually happened to these nationalities of swarthy people. Okay, so let's move on to this next section of the video. It's called keywords. And these keywords are the terms that I search for when I'm looking in historical documentation, books, novels, journals, newspapers, those sorts of things. These keywords stand out to me, and I kind of hone in on these words. And I wanted to share them with you, so when you see them, they will actually stand out to you, and they'll remind you of this video and what I'm trying to clue you in on, so that you will start to see the contradictions in what we've been taught and the education that we have been given. So real quickly, I'm going to go down this list of words. First one is swarthy. Second one, complexion. Third, dark complexion. Fourth, brown complexion. Fifth is countenance.
He likes
and
the
that
word
definition
swarthy.
being a person's face or facial expression, and that is from dictionary.com. Okay, so number 6 is olive complexion. Saguine complexion is number 7. Number 8 is tawny complexion, and number 9 is ruddy. And ruddy can apply to both ethnicities. Really, ruddy can apply to just about any ethnicity. Any ethnicity could have people with red hair. But here I have several photos from Google Images of what many people in this country of the United States would consider African American people. But all these folks have natural red hair.
And photos of Ukraine, specifically Kharkiv or Kharkov and Lviv or Lvov, the major cities.
We're about to lose.
I'm just going to show the photos of big buildings that you see. If I didn't tell you these were in Ukraine, you would say anywhere else, like the American continent, both in English and Spanish and Portuguese, or Europe, in Italy and Germany and the UK, or Australia or Canada. Yet we see the same exactly type of buildings. You tell me if this is a power station or a cathedral where people go to pray, to have their prayers listened by, I guess, God who lives in heavens, but then we live on an enclosed dome, and there's waters above the dome, and there's no space. Anyway, just going to show you the photos. These are black and white, by the way, so these are from the 1800s. Some of them are from the early 1800s, but the big majority are from the 1800s.
My dog is fucking people up, though.
Century. Very developed city, in this case Kharkiv or Kharkov, and with electric trams. The system, the infrastructure is in place, everything is electric. By the way, you see these buildings here, you just say, by the gods of the White Federation. Same buildings everywhere. And you see this in Russia as well. But it's not just Russia and Ukraine, because then you go to the other continents and it's the same thing. So that's why I don't want to say everything is Tartaria, because you cannot say that. I would say the White Empire, because the same buildings we have in the expos in America, and it's kind of like gives you the idea of those giant double size people. You see the entrances and the windows and the doors and everything, dome buildings, and the same type of architecture in the case of the stones, which are perfectly cut, or if they're not cut, they're put in a way. Some people say 3D printing, or cast. I don't know. I do see now way better the crosses or anything that you put on the top of the domes. I see them as antennas for the free electromagnetic energy of the ether. And even the buildings themselves, you see this cathedral, this is the same principle you have in Asia, all across the Asian countries, and not just Asia, all the other countries as well. The white and red stripes,
now. That's cool.
Which is like the thing to give you an insight that it's an energy building. So it's not a cathedral, and that's why you have so many cathedrals and temples in the world, because you have these developed cities with the grid of the trams and the system of railways and the electric motors, and you need a power station to power everything. So I see the logic now. Also, the comparison between photos from the 1800s and the 20th century with color photos, you see the surrounding areas in the black and white photos are full of dirt. How is it possible to build with the horse and the carriage and the wooden wheel, something like that, but the surrounding area has absolutely not even one proper road for transport? But we do have them in the 20th century, in the late 20th century. And again, this is the technology, you see. I'm just going to zoom in, so you don't have anything of... Today we have like cars on roads. Back in the day you had this. and the roads here you have like stone on the road, but still, you know how difficult I've been on these type of manual transports, and it doesn't matter if you have like a dirt road or a stone road, rock road, it's bumpy and it's super difficult to transport anything besides the fact that the wheels break.
It's not level, it's not balanced.
So, giant windows, giant stones, giant columns everywhere. This is Kharkiv, and this is like what was there before and what's there in the 20th century. Same church, right? Although I see this as a power station. Do you see as some kind of advancement? So I look at the 1800s and I look at the 1900s after the war, the Second World War, and you tell me what's more advanced and what's more epic and supreme and majestic. How is that even possible for us to live 150 years in the future from these guys on the left? And we do so. There's a word with the letter P from...
what word is he trying to look for?
Letter P, whatever. From proud. Well, I'm not proud when I see that. And then here you see the difference, because in the black and white photos you don't see the colors, the stripes, the red and the white. But then you see it here, and it gives you the insight of a power station, not cathedral for saying your prayers. So fascinating. Again, these buildings, you see, like when you see the building in black and white, they look so old in the black and white photos, which means that they were there way before the 1800s.
Right.
So who built them? What empire? Again, a comparison between 1900 and the 21st century. It's not even the 20th century anymore, it's the 21st, because like the cameras today, right after the year 2010, and then you see the photo in 1900. I mean, it's just that feeling that comes to your mind. Now we go to Lvov, which is again a big city in the Ukraine, and you see my point. If I don't show you or tell you these are in Ukraine, you would say any other part of the world. That's why you cannot be patriotic with the place where you live and say, oh, these buildings were built by our architects of the 1800s, because you tell me how the architects of the 1800s communicated with each other in a world with no internet, no phone, no nothing, no technology. The only way of communication back then was to send letters via post by water. So with the ships, because there was no telegraph still yet, especially because all of these buildings were already in place by the year 1860. So which means that they were built between 1800 and 1850. So who built them? And why are they identical everywhere in the world? Ukrainian language is a very difficult language. Sometimes even, even when you see this technology here and the building in the background, it just doesn't make any sense. And again, Russian and Ukrainian use a different alphabet, the Cyrillic, and the other countries that speak English and Spanish and Portuguese and German, they use the alphabet, the so-called Latin. So even though it's not Latin, but you get my point. So how is it possible for humanity to communicate in all these languages in a different world so primitive? And even when you see, like again with the details and the human statues that portray nudity and white people very big. So that's why they probably call the White Federation, which was everywhere in the world at some point. And it's fascinating, right? When you start understanding that we come from the 1800s, a massive repopulation of the world, and the genetics used to create a different species of humanity at that time. And even these type of buildings are identical in, of course, you know about Germany and Italy, right? With these towers on the top of the cathedrals. Again, if this is a place where you go to pray, and so many of them, the world was full of these places. It's so easy now when you see, because if you see only photos from one single country, you say, okay, that's fine. It's just the architects, they wanted to do this and period. Once you see all the photos from all the different countries and I show them to you, the questions rise in your head, right? So that's the fascinating bit. Again, I'm gonna end the video quickly so you don't get bored. Look at the size of the human and look at the size of the building, even the windows, everything. And then you have the electric trams, but you also have the horses and the wooden wheels. And then when you see the aerial photos, again, if I didn't say Lvov, if it didn't say Lvov there, you would even say South America, because South America is identical. What does South America and North America and the European countries have to do with Ukraine? or even a country like New Zealand and Australia, or even the Asian countries that are now populated by Chinese and Japanese and Thai and Indonesian people, etc. So yeah, and this one was there because you can obviously see it's not a mountain, it's not natural, it's artificial. Those type of things, Asia has them as well, especially in those countries with Buddhist language today. But this is in the Ukraine, so, or was. So again, mysteries. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna cross. Okay, so the next photo, I'll just leave it for like a couple of seconds because, you know, the symbol of the man with mustache, and you can pause the video afterwards if you want to see the building in more detail, because I'm actually afraid to show anything that has to do with the energy symbol, which is everywhere in the world, by the way. It was probably a symbol of the Federation that built the same buildings, these buildings. Look at the size of this thing, you know. And I'm to believe that this was built in a cold country like the Ukraine in winter, to go and pray, because that's what people do when they get tired of farming and agriculture, and because everybody was farming back in the day. Big buildings like the ones you see in the States and all the other countries in the world, they speak other languages besides Russian or Ukrainian. And again, so this is Lviv, right? More of it. Again, when I look at a building, the big question comes to my mind: why are they identical? There's absolutely no difference, even though our human species are so different in the way we speak and the way our cultures are and traditions and everything else. The food we eat. Some buildings are still, even in those days, they looked abandoned in the 1800s. So you can imagine what happened in the world. Or like in this case, you see one human, and the surrounding areas is just dirt, and then you have this massive castle in the middle of nowhere, and views from the big avenue. Big avenues were the thing, even in the Spanish and Portuguese speaking America or the English speaking America. Always with huge big avenues. Same with St. Petersburg, etc. So I hope you enjoyed, and let's finish with.
Hey, on that note too, yeah, I'm finna hop off for a minute, get right before the Laker game, man. I'll holler at y'all niggas in a minute, man. Stay out of trouble, yo.
Nasty.